and I know in California.
This is huge.
Yeah, it gets fucking bigger.
It's never
so this is where we do all of our drawing and our digital work and shit.
What do you guys use for that? For the drawings?
We use Procreate for the most part, and then a little bit of Photoshop. But 90% is Procreate.
Yeah. Okay.
But
it's so clean here.
Big fucking shit.
Not that I would expect anything different, but it's so clean. Awesome. Yeah. Well, you know what? Most tattoo places are very scattered. They're dark. This is like the opposite.
Nah, I wanted to go pretty
organized and bright.
Yeah, this is like...
Especially for being a skull museum, it's bright.
Yeah, you can't like have a scary name and a scary shop, you know?
True.
Yeah. It's kind of like that balance, I guess. I wanted to keep it, this fucking vibe, possibly good.
What is this?
It's a hippo.
Is that a real hippo?
No, the animal ones are the fake ones.
Okay.
Yeah, we do resin casts.
Do you have skulls all over your home too?
No.
No?
It's not even anything I'm like really into, bro. I'm like, my house looks exactly like this without the skulls. Like, you know what I mean? I'm a very bright person. I just, I honestly, man, I got a skull given to me by Chris Youngblood, you know, when I first opened my shop. So it was just, we had one skull.
Wow.
And I had it in there, and we didn't have a name for the studio. It was just a private studio at the time. And I honestly, it's constantly rolling through my brain, like, what can I call this thing that's different, right? And dude, the skull got more attention in the shop than anything else. Like, whether it was fucking stay the fuck on the other side of the room of it, or like go up to it and check it out. They were like, in one way, it got reactions. It got reactions, and I liked watching the reactions, right? You know what I mean? So, I know a little bit about marketing and stuff. You know, you want something that was a name that you can hear once and never forget. You know, the Skull Museum is pretty. Yeah. And then I just Googled it one day, and there's not a fucking thing in the world called the Skull Museum, dude. There's nothing, dude. There's not a Skull Museum in the world. There's traveling exhibits. And there's 0 patents on the name at all. So I mean, there's not a company called it. There's not, you know what I mean? So I just grabbed a hold of fucking, So I grabbed only the tattoo industry. So if you were,
just so you know, why would they step on your toes? You know, this is the brand now.
Yeah, man. So it's fucking been a good little adventure, man, for sure.
That's amazing. So tattoo artists are in an industry where you're forced to become an entrepreneur more so than any other artist. You know, probably maybe some other, you know, obviously designers, but you know, for me, it's like I can do stuff, I can put on a show, and then I can sit back. That's what most artists, I don't do that, but most artists do that. You have to have this functioning business that is just constantly moving, and also the way you present it, like a brand. I mean, it's really impressive.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's really dope.
And that wall has your name on it whenever you're ready.
Yeah, let's go. I want to see this wall. I think my name's on it. So we're building a new studio now, but when we had my studio on Orange Golf, we would actually donate studio experiences to charities. The high bidders would get one painting, and they would get, you know, they'd bring like maybe 30, up to 40 of their friends. Sometimes it'd just be like 2 people, and they pay like tens of thousands of dollars for these small experiences. But I would take my time painting, as in, you know what I could do in 6 minutes.
Yeah.
But I would spend 20 minutes, which is still quick on something that's, you know.
That's, I think, actually a much better idea, dude.
And that way,
a chance to sit down and enjoy your drink and like watch.
Yeah. In this environment, it's way more chill. I'm talking to people while I'm painting. It's something I can't do on stage. I mean, you know, I'll leave that to future videos to answer that. The cleanup video. Skull Museum cleanup.
These are new, so these ones are we're gonna start carrying some of these, man. I got this artist, so these are real. And he takes pyrite, so I gave him 2 human skulls. Wow. He's the last human one he sold in fucking to some museum in New York for like 10 grand. Yeah. So we got a couple human ones coming that we're gonna like case up, but yeah, these things are pretty wild.
Like, I would put this in my home.
But this is a piece of art, you know, so I'm not into like the animal shit that's like, I wouldn't have a cow here by itself.
But I would put that in my home.
Yeah, they're super neat. Yeah, right.
Even if a human one that was turned into art.
Transfer out of the, I mean, I'm always the tattoos is where's my roots at, man. I make way too much money doing it to really step aside. And when I do kind of like start getting other hobbies, I realize that my bills aren't being paid as good, you know, and I fucking, or my habits, I guess.
What are those hobbies? The ones that distract tattoos?
I don't get a chance to paint as much as, I mean, I'm still an artist, you know, but I tattooing for 5 days a week, so I don't get a chance to paint as much as I'd like. Like building's my favorite thing, so like woodwork, like cabinets. My dad had like a metal shop, so I used to do like metal art and stuff. There's nothing really in here, but I did all the woodwork in here, but none of this is like super artsy, like the shit that I would do at home, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But yeah, man, I just don't, tattooing was what I found in the art world that was paying the bills, I guess, but I don't know that it would have been my number one choice of hobbies, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
For sure, like by no means. Building.
Oh, building.
I need bigger finished products. I'd probably be, I mean, my dad does construction. I love interior, we were just talking about over here, like I love interior design. I like seeing larger scale projects come together. Like tattooing is more of like a fine art, you know, versus like more of like a contractor side of it. Like if I could redo it all, I went to college and I got the degree. It was just in the wrong field, and then I found tattooing. But if I was going to do it all again, I'd probably get into like architecture or something where I can actually do like larger modern scale. You know what I mean? So, like, long-term projects, something that takes me a year or two to put together, and it's really rewarding at the end. And this is a lot of like instant gratification in tattooing. It's like, oh, you know, one and done.
Think about this. This kind of just hit me. Is architecture and tattoos are very similar. You're leaving a legacy behind that will live beyond you. I mean, you know, you're putting art on bodies that go on to live their lives, and you know, they talk about it. And even when their body dies, it's still on their body. Yeah. You know, when their soul leaves. And architecture is the same thing. I mean, these buildings are there for centuries, and what things may change inside of it, but they're very similar in that way of thinking of. But I would love to talk to you about that when we start planning for next year's camp or any other thing, because I do feel like there's a way to approach tattoos. And even if you're a keynote speaker, even if you come and share your journey, I don't know if you've ever done that.
I would love to be a little bit of a representative that helps pull the tattoo industry out of the low life. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like can't make an income type of industry, and that's the biggest thing, man. Teaching these kids that if that is something they're interested in, there is a good future in it. That's not necessarily what's perceived on television.
Yeah. I just want to again show them the positive side to a career path.
Yeah.
That is possible.
100%.
Yeah. Skull?
That's a real skull. Yeah.
Wow.
It's real bone. I'm sure it's just going like a dentist drill. Is what I'm guessing.
That's really cool.
Really cool, huh?
Yeah. Yeah, definitely get someone to watch out for these. So just like that, man. October 26th.
Dude.
And I'm gonna do 3 paintings, and then the last one I'll just surprise you with whatever it is. We'll do something Skull Museum themes. Actually, I can't.
My fucking leather jacket. That should be hella funny.
Maybe I should be in character as Bob Ross.
You can be Nicholas Skull and I'll be Baby Girl.
There we go. Yeah, just like, you know.
You have your fucking tattoo.
I'm gonna draw a tattoo.
I'm
gonna draw tats on my arms. I don't know why he stands like this. I'm now Nick West.
Is that my pose?
Yeah.
Is it?
Down here.
Does he look like me?
All right, whose vlog? Yours?
Whose vlog? Is it my vlog?
I don't know. Both of ours. All right, so we just stopped by the Skull Museum here in Sacramento, California. I'm gonna be doing a couple of paintings for Nick, and got some inspiration for today. We're gonna come back here on October 26th and create these paintings of what, you know, the inspiration that we got here. So
very exciting.
You ready to quarantine this place?
Yes, sir.
There's plastic everywhere.
We're gonna also do a little bit of a Halloween costume party.
That's true. Yeah.
So we'll do the same as last year and do the $1,000 to the winner of the costume contest.
And also we'll let you bid on a painting to benefit a charity. We'll announce that later as well.
Stoked.
All right.
Yes.